What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Now, as some of you may know, the People's Vote campaign has been an absolute rag state of affairs recently, with bitter infighting between chairman and staff and other chairmen and this person and that person. It's an absolute joke. Well, it seems it's reached peak, and now that brings good news for us, which these days is in short supply, so I'll take it when I find it. The Express article on this headlines: huge boost for Brexit as People's Vote campaign civil war explodes with legal threats. And we know what these Remainers are like with their legal threats. They love them. There'll be judicial reviews of each and every one of them within a week, I expect, or some form of criminal case or civil case against them, especially if the SNP's Joanna Cherry's involved or Gina Miller gets in there. She'll sue everyone, I'm sure. The civil war, which has enveloped the anti-Brexit People's Vote campaign, intensified on Friday with threats of legal action from employees and accusations of intimidation. Earlier this week, the group imploded after James McGorry and Tom Baldwin, its chief executive and communications director respectively, were fired in an internal coup earlier this week, which is something I have touched on in videos over the course of this week also. Europhile businessman Roland Rudd moved against the pair as chair of Open Britain, the largest organisation within the People's Vote movement, which employs most of its staff. Some 40 People's Vote staff passed a motion of no confidence in Mr Rudd and are refusing to return to work unless Mr McGorry and Mr Baldwin are reinstated. Some of the employees are reported to be considering legal action. This is amazing. Now, they're all supposed to be coordinating together to try and get their undemocratic second referendum, and yet they can't even decide who runs their own group. I mean, how can these people run a second referendum campaign? These idiots couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery by the sounds of it. In letters seen by The Guardian, they have also started writing to clients of Mr Rudd's PR firm Finsbury, questioning his behaviour. Because that's what these left-wing activists do. If you do something they don't like, they try to cancel you and attack your funding by going to your employers, or in this guy's case, attacking the clients who pay his company money. Now, I don't agree with the People's Vote campaign in any sense of the word, but I fucking despise this cancel culture that makes these rabid left-wing activists think it's okay to attack someone's income because you disagree with them over something. It goes to show just how pathetic and childish these People's Vote arseholes really are though, doesn't it? Speaking to the paper, a source said the intention was to hit him in the wallet. What a surprise there. We can't beat you any other way. You have control or power over us, so we're going to try and smear your reputation and make you lose your business, your house, your wife, whatever else they can take from you. Disgraceful behaviour. Now, I'm not defending the People's Vote guy. He's probably a disgusting, slimy toad as well. He's definitely an undemocratic toad. But at the end of the day, I still don't think you should try to attack the guy's income. I mean, these activists wouldn't like it if someone started attacking the way they made money and then they had to go on the dole, or actually had to go to work instead of sitting there campaigning 24 hours a day, protesting somewhere. So yeah, the same principle applies. They wouldn't like it, you shouldn't do it, it's the wrong way to go about it. Beat their ideas, not attack how they make money and support their family or whatever. The letter questions whether Mr Rudd has demonstrated good PR skills during the current controversy. Well, I'm not sure that really has anything to do with the PR he performs for his clients, who pay him to do so, rather than something he's an activist for, in his own spare time, and likely with some of his own money, unless he's like Gina Miller, who just spends everyone else's. Who knows? People's Vote are campaigning for a second referendum on Britain's EU membership because they somehow think a second one will have legitimacy over the first, because their feelings, I guess. I don't know. When actually a second referendum would have the credibility of a Jeremy Corbyn government without being elected, which is none. The group has organised a number of marches through central London which it claims have attracted up to 1 million participants. Bullshit. Bollocks, mate. More like a fucking couple of fucking thousand. 20,000 at most, I think, was one of them. Speaking to the BBC, a source close to Mr Rudd said that if the staff don't return to work, they will be replaced by staff who want to work towards a People's Vote. And that's exactly how you do it. If these people walk out of work, you sack them. At the end of the day, they've reneged on their contract. See you later. Hit the job centre. They continued, staff have been asked to return to work, and we hope everyone who wishes to do so will do so, without feeling intimidated by those who have orchestrated this walkout. The staffing decision will not be reversed, and new senior staff will be announced in due course. However, a People's Vote employee fired back, telling the corporation this is a coup against the people who built the People's Vote campaign by a multi-millionaire who has contributed nothing to it. And there it is, the Corbynistas of this walkout movement have come to the forefront. He's a millionaire, therefore he doesn't deserve to be there, or he has no right to say anything, so we're going to go against him. Does that sound anything like Jeremy Corbyn's campaign election speech to you? Because it certainly does to me. There was controversy after Mr Rudd brought security guards to one meeting with employees. That's because they're rabid leftists and they might attack him, you know, Antifa style. One People's Vote employee claimed it cleared an intimidating atmosphere for just a meeting. Open Britain, the biggest single group within People's Vote, is a successor organisation to Britain Stronger in Europe, the official Remain campaign during the 2016 referendum, that I'm sure if memory serves was found to have breached electoral law with its campaign spending last month. I'm sure it did. Mr Rudd is said to want to move People's Vote to a more overtly Remain direction, while some employees want to focus on securing a second referendum without saying which side the campaign will endorse. Yes, because they're snakes, and they will just endorse one at the end once they've got the referendum. We know exactly what they're up to. Alistair Campbell, formerly Tony Blair's spin doctor, has hit out at Mr Rudd over the dispute. He commented, while the staff have been busy fighting for a People's Vote, Mr Rudd has been engaged close to full-time in boardroom politics. A board which, with few exceptions, has done little for the campaign. Well, I don't know about you, Alistair Campbell, but last time I checked, the board of any company or campaign does very little. It's the people on the ground that do the work. You're an idiot if you think any different. However, speaking to The Guardian, a supporter of Mr Rudd accused Mr McGorry and Mr Baldwin of orchestrating a cult-like walkout. Well, they will do. This is what happens. The rabid Ramona's Twitter mob thinks that that's what they should do in real life, so this is what we get. Haven't you seen all these echo chamber mobs go off on a wild one? Like, do these Ramonas and these boardroom members or supporters of Mr Rudd not understand what's going on in the world? Like, the cult is there, the cult is Remain, the cult is left-wing politics, the cult is socialism. You know, these are cults. They have taken cult status. They're not political ideas anymore. I think they can be called political cults right now. The People's Vote campaign collapse comes at a terrible time for supporters of a second referendum. Earlier this week, Parliament voted to hold a general election on December 12th. Yes, they did. People's Vote had been planning to organise a mass campaign of tactical voting by those who want a second Brexit vote. It is unclear if this will go ahead given the splits within the group. Good. This is always good news. The Liberal Democrats have pledged to cancel Brexit if they form a majority government. Yeah, it's a big if. Whilst Labour says it will hold another referendum, as we all know. Brexit Party, they want a proper Brexit with a clean break, and the Tory Party, they want to leave with Boris Johnson's deal, or surrender treaty, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, this is actually good news. The People's Vote campaign can't even agree amongst themselves with anything, so how could they get the country to agree with them? Which they can't, because Britain is a democratic country. It's a very minor few people who are going to support this idea at the end of the day. Most people would laugh it off, which is why even Parliament have voted against it over the course of the last 3 years. When the Lib Dems have tabled it, which, as you heard the other day, Jo Swinson said she has tabled it something like 17 times, and Parliament's rejected it every time. So, yeah, this is great news that they can't even work stuff out between themselves, and are likely going to take each other to court, which means this will only get worse for them, and better for us. So, I'm going to end the video there. It was just supposed to be a short one to bring you this good news, as we don't get it very often as Brexiteers these days. Now, I want to thank the channel's PayPal, Patreon and Subscribe Star members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. Parliament is a disgrace, but they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.